I can't tell you how honored I am, how delighted I am. I want to cry, but I won't do that. My role model, my father, when he was emotional, he did cry. I have to warn you, I'm a storyteller, and I don't prepare my speeches. But I brought two people today, three people actually, to check me. My wife, my two sons, to make sure I don't overdo it. It indeed is a great honor, but the real honor, the real recognition is this amazing institution, Robert College, whose founder was Mr. Hamlin, buried in Lexington, Massachusetts. That's where my business is, and I did visit his grave. And he has his relatives and so on. And it was Mr. Robert who gave the money, and the name, of course, goes with those who give the money, which is sometimes very unfortunate. But I had the great privilege of witnessing two rebirths of Robert College. Robert College can boast of three births. The original one, 1963. The next one, I was a witness to. And that's when Dr. Ballantyne and the board, and I'm a little bit fuzzy about it because I was just a student hearing the gossip, divided Robert College into three parts: Robert Academy, Robert Lise, and Yüksekokul. And Yüksekokul went from the old Robert College, which the US universities did not recognize as a full university, into a true four-year college. And it graduated amazing people. That institution, the old Yüksekokul, had alumni that went on to become professors, very successful scientists, engineers all over the world. And my mission was always to be in Yüksekokul, finish Yüksekokul. But I had a big problem, we had a big issue. In that I love physics, I still do. I love mechanical engineering, I still do. And I was a very happy student. And to make things even better, Yüksekokul had become co-educational. So everything was together. And I was an innocent sophomore, enjoying life, and I made the mistake of talking to then acting president, Dean Hazen. Now, I won't get into all the details why Dean Hazen became an acting president, because Dr. Ballantyne had suddenly left his position. You can find out why. I won't tell you why. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. And I was chatting with Dean Hazen about my career, and I said, you know, there's this new field of industrial engineering, which didn't exist in Turkey. And you are, of course, you have that degree in industrial engineering. And he said, you know, at MIT, it's called industrial management, but it actually is industrial engineering. You should apply. So I did. And, you know, it's student, you apply and you send in the application. And to my amazement, I received a letter that said, you're admitted. And it didn't matter that much to me. I had my wonderful life, but my professor said, you really should go. Well, then came the real letter in May. They said, we want you to come and we'll even give you a scholarship. Well, that was too good to refuse. So I did come. But my plan was always to go back to Robert College and be a faculty member there. And I didn't deviate from that. I came to MIT, I got my doctorate, I got appointed a faculty member, I accumulated a lot of possessions, I had a young family, and I did go back to be a professor in Robert College. But that year, 1969, Robert College started dying. Dr. Everton, who personally had recruited me, was denying it, but when I met with the chairman, of the board. Any doubt I had in my mind was dispelled. There was no question. The board had decided to shut down Yüksekokul. Now, I happen to serve on the board of Robert College. I have not gone back to the archives to find out why, but be that as it may, I decided I should go back to the United States for a year to retool myself for Turkish universities. And indeed, 1969 marked the death of Yüksekokul. 1969, 1970. I was there to witness the death, and also it turns out the rebirth. And that's when many people went to Washington, not Washington, to Ankara. Well, they're both capitals, you know, that's where politics happens. That's where the politicians sit and they make these big decisions, or at least they think they make big decisions. And after I came back to the United States, back to MIT, to my great joy and excitement, I learned that Yüksekokul was reborn as Boğaziçi University. What a great accomplishment. What a great gift of the alumni and all those who worked. Now I come and I congratulate Boğaziçi University. It's an amazing institution. It's absolute and amazing institution. And its third birth, I think, is the real birth. Yes, and And if Mr. Hamlin were to get out of his grave, which is not possible, he would say, what a vision accomplished. What an impact. Now, with that, I will take just 5 minutes because I don't want to interfere with this wonderful dinner and look ahead. Because I had the great fortune of not only experiencing 2 births out of 3, but I also had the great fortune of being affiliated with MIT, which is a very important institution in the United States, for 50 years of its 150 years. And I've gotten to know that institution inside out. I serve on its board. I know almost all the presidents since 1950s. 2 of them served on my board. Dr. West was the chairman of my board, and Howard Johnson and Jerry Wiesner, both presidents of MIT, were on my previous boards. I know that institution inside out. I had the great fortune of being an American field service student in the United States, and I lived with a family for 1 year. And I have been in Boston since 1961. And I think I have the credentials to say I know this society quite well. Sometimes much better than people who were born here. Much better than. So, and I was at Bell Labs. I was a vice president at Bell Labs. I was on the Bell Labs Council, 9 people, presumably running Bell Labs. And the company that I now am running, TIAX, actually has its roots in the oldest technology company in the United States, Arthur D. Little, founded in 1886. Out of that company came Boston Consulting Group, Romney, you'll remember, Bain, and so on. So I've seen a lot. I have seen a lot. So I want to share with you my thoughts about the future. That's what we're about here. Not just to celebrate the past, but to look at the future. And I will take my watch out because I know my son will start making signs at me and my other son will say, Dad, time, stop, and so on. But I will just 5 minutes. We live in a wonderful world, and I'm very optimistic. I think things are great. I know there are many people here who are depressed, pessimistic, saying the world is coming to an end, not just in Turkey. I told you, I lived in the United States since 1961. And maybe between 1961 and 1963, I didn't hear it. But since 1963, even in the United States, my friends and colleagues have been saying, things are coming to an end. This is awful. This is not what the founding fathers wanted. This society is going to hell in a handbasket. It's awful. It's terrible. I know same things are being said in Turkey. But I'm of the opinion that this is a great world, and things are really fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. What we enjoy today, right in this room, kings and queens 200 years ago could not have even envisioned. The technology we have, the comfort we have, the air conditioning we have, the transportation we have, the community that we have established across the globe we have. I can go on and on and on. Why is it that we feel so bad? Now, I will, since I'm being, in quotes, honored today, and I'm truly touched, you will think I would feel to be a very accomplished person. I don't. I really don't. Every day I get up and damn, there's that problem. Darn, there's that issue. Shuck, I couldn't do it. Why is that? And I think our progress has outstripped our emotional maturity. I think emotionally we're very immature. My wife and I, we were in Tanzania in a safari. I watched the animals. They're scared. We're like animals. We haven't really left Africa. We're still scared. We're constantly looking for danger. That's why we like to listen to horrible news. I have a channel, Good News. I could tolerate it for 2 weeks. I'm back to Bad News channel. So emotionally, we need maturity. And I hope it's coming. Maybe it's meditation, maybe it is this, maybe it is that. But I think our progress is far ahead of our emotions. Now, I've been, of course, going back and forth to Turkey since I was born there in 1941. I've been going back and forth. Turkey overall is doing well, but it's like the stock market. Not every day goes up. Some days it goes down. But the trajectory is fantastic. It really is fantastic. Here's one indication. In 1940s and 50s, even 60s, I understand about 200,000 people visited Turkey. When I was an American Field Service student in California, I was astounded that people did not know anything about Turkey. Nothing. Except turkey bird. That was it. I understand last year, 35 million people visited Turkey. 35 million. And whoever I talk to, they don't worry about politics. That's for you guys. They say, what an amazing country. What a fantastic country. So, things are really well. Emotionally, we react to the bad news. And we will continue to. Things are horrible, things are terrible. You think it isn't so in the United States. Let me tell you, it's worse than Turkey. How in the United States people dump on each other every day, every day, every day. But the world is doing well, and I think it will continue to do well. So as we look forward, what do I see? What do I see? I think I want to introduce, again, I'm watching my time, two concepts, at least. One concept is singularity. Singularity is a peculiar thing. We all, a number of us have technical backgrounds. When you reach singularity, things just could be infinite. But instead of singularity, I want to talk about exponential growth, which is very counterintuitive. And I think the world is in the throes of exponential growth. And that exponential growth is being fueled by information. Not material things, but information, knowledge. And I can't think of a better institution at the crossroads of knowledge than Boğaziçi. It is in a privileged state. It's in an absolutely privileged state. Absolutely privileged state. Absolutely privileged state. And what is really fueling information is another I, and that's innovation. And I've been a student of innovation. I've taught innovation. I've practiced innovation. And people think innovation starts with discovery. It does not. Innovation starts with actually imitation, emulation. And that's what Atatürk did. He did not wait for the Turkish Republic to innovate this, innovate that. He just wholesale adopted, took it. Yeah. Yeah. And then we, as a nation, turned adoption into adaptation. We adapted it to our Anatolia, to our beloved country. And that's how the Republic was forged, with adoption and adaptation. And then came innovation. And Turkey now, despite all the gloom and doom, is innovating. It's really innovating. And to fuel that innovation, we should never forget adoption and adaptation. There are many things that are happening in the United States that Boğaziçi is an excellent position to adopt, adapt, innovate, and then export. I tell people here, do you know Herodotus? Yes, I know Herodotus. I said, do you know where he was born? I have no idea. He was born in Turkey. Do you know Homer? Of course I know Homer. Where was Homer born? He was born in Turkey. We have bred, gave birth to enormous thoughts that have spread across the world. And now they're echoing back. And there's no, I think there should be no reticence in adoption, adaptation, innovation, and back to the cycle. So on that note, I look forward to our beloved institution, Boğaziçi, where I had all kinds of adventures, including being hosed down, 77 tradition. You will remember that. And we were on the Robert Academy side, and our big brothers invited us to Albert Long Hall, and they said, we're going to have, imagine the saying to a bunch of boys, köçek, a belly dancer. And we all rushed in to see this belly dancer at Albert Long Hall. And I thought something was odd, because these big brothers of ours were beginning to close the doors. I said, what is going on? Well, instead of köçek coming, our big brothers had hoses, and we were all hosed down. And that was one of my many experiences at that wonderful institution. I really admire you for your position, and I wish this amazing institution fantastic journey in this third birth, and I know it is just as transformational as MIT is.